Hey guys, it's Waham and welcome to Dark Skin Divas, a channel that celebrates your dark skin. I just filmed 17 minutes worth of footage and my sound was not on my mic. Well, you know, that was practice. So, I'm going to be talking about the eye today. I'm going to be showing you guys different places on the eye and where to place your eyeshadow. Okay, so starting off, let's talk about eyeshadow primer. I have to use an eyeshadow primer because my eyelids are oily. If I don't, by the end of the day, it will be all greasy and creased up. I mean, my oil will just make that eyeshadow dissipate faster than I don't know what. So what I use is Ruby Kisses. Ruby Kisses is under $10. I can't remember exactly how much it costs, but it's cheap and it works. And you can spend $20 on the best shadow primers out there. But if you don't use them every single day, they kind of dry out and stop working to the best of their ability. And when you try to put them on, they like get blotchy and that's going to affect your eyeshadow. So I don't spend $20 anymore on eyeshadow primers. I just go on ahead and buy this because when this gets old, I can still work with it and it still covers up the grease and allows my eyeshadow to stay on my lid. So the second thing that I use in conjunction with my primer is a base. I don't always use a base, but most of the time I do. So if you're somebody that knows that you do a lot of browns and neutral looks, having a very neutral base is going to be really good for you. I use Cafe au Lait by Milani. It's a Shadow Eyes base and I absolutely love it. And you see that I use it a lot in my videos if you are somebody who watches my channel. The next base that I will use is a white base if I'm using a light color or I'm using something that I really want to be very vibrant. But you can get this in a pencil version. I think it's called Milk. I think people talk about it and it's probably a little bit easier to apply in the pencil version. The next now is if you're somebody if you love jewel tones, you love using pinks, you love doing blues, like really vibrant blues, if you love doing like really vibrant greens, if you just love purples, then you might want to just go on ahead and invest in bases that work for those looks. Eyeshadow bases enhance the shadow that's on your lid. So if you're doing like a really beautiful, like glimmery, shimmery emerald, you want to do a base so that that shimmer and that emerald really pops on your eye. And that's what bases are for. And how to pair them up, you get it over time, but it's kind of just like color with color. If I'm doing a blue, I want to have a blue base. If I'm doing green, green base. Purple, purple base. Any creamy color that you have, you just go on ahead and put that on after you put your primer, and it's just going to help to beat back the oil and the grease that's coming from your eyes, number one, but also just to really enhance that eyeshadow that you've put on. So as far as palettes go, now palettes aren't made equal. A lot of times you'll get a palette and you can only use 3 or 4 colors out of it if you're a dark skinned diva like me. If you're somebody that's a little bit lighter or much lighter, then palettes still will have those colors that you won't be able to use, but you need to be able to identify 3 to 4 different colors. You can identify your transition, you can identify your highlight, and whatever lid color you would want to use. Okay, so for example, and this is what I think I'm going to use today to show you guys this tutorial, is Maybelline the Nudes palette. This is actually a really great nude palette for I think every woman of any skin tone. So in it, there is the black right here. That's really great for creases or any smoky looks. They have this sort of transition color, which is what I would use as a transition color, but maybe a lighter woman would use this as her crease color. It's got a really great bronze, 2 really great sort of shimmery bronze brown colors here. And then they have 2 highlights, which I'm not necessarily into because I think they're a little too light for me. But if I do use them, I'll put them on sparingly, you know, so that it's not too shimmery. I'm personally not a fan of super shimmer highlight. And when I do a super shimmery highlight, it's Woodwinked by MAC. And something about that color, it's very shimmery, but I like the way it looks on my skin, but I mostly use it for nighttime. I don't use it in the day. During the day, I have a matte highlight called Blame It on Midnight by NYX, and I just kind of dap it on with my ring finger. If you watch my tutorials, you know, and then I like blend it away just so it's barely a highlight. I'm not really into that like severe highlight that I see a lot of women doing. And I know that not everybody can just go out and buy a bunch of palettes, but it's really hard for me. Like, I haven't bought the Nudes palette by Urban Decay because I feel like people make it work for them, but some of the nudes aren't really nude for me. They're just not right for me, and I don't want to spend that much money for a palette that has a lot of colors that I can't utilize, you know? So that's just me. So you don't have to spend big bucks. But when you do, you want to make sure that at least half or maybe more than half of the colors are something that you can actually use. There are so many makeup companies out there, so there's no reason to settle for the Nudes palette because you've seen it all over YouTube. You know, look at Makeup Geek, look at ColourPop, look at all these brands, Shea Moisture, where you can buy just the little colors that you need and that they'll work out nicely for you. So when you're doing transition colors, let's talk about that because there's always a lot of questions about what exactly a transition color is. So just making sure my mic is on because like I'm paranoid now. So what you want to do is, I personally like for my transition colors to be matte. Because I feel like I always have shimmery colors on my skin. What I use, and I'm going to show you this palette. I don't know where it came from. A friend of mine got it for me. She said it was BH Cosmetics, but I went on their website and I don't see it, so I don't know if it's not available anymore. But it is a palette just filled with matte nudes. Most of the colors on here I cannot use. However, this color right here is a really good transition color for me. This color right here is a really good transition color for me. And obviously, you know, you can never just have too much black eyeshadow. Like, you always need it, so why not have it? Your transition color is supposed to take you from your lid color or your crease color into your highlight without having it be such a stark difference. And you also use it to blend out colors. It depends on the look. If you're doing a smoky look, depending on the color of the smoke, so if you're doing like a brown smoky look, using an earth tone like the red brick as your transition color is really good. If I'm doing a black smoky look, I use brown as my transition color. I don't use that red color. Now, some people of different skin tones might do something different, or the same skin tone might do something different, but that's personal preference. That's just how I like to roll, how I like it. When you pick up a palette, let's talk about identifying. So this one obviously is meant to be the highlight. I've used this as a highlight very sparingly in the past. I've used it just right in the arch of my brow, not on the sides because it would be too much color. I have used this color right here as my transition before from this palette. And it has a bit of sparkle in it too, but because it's so close to my skin tone, it blends really nicely. I've used this color as a crease and I've used this color as a lid, and you guys know that I use these almost exclusively as my highlight. I would recommend these two palettes if you're new to makeup and you want something that has like some jewel tones in it. This is really great. And you want something that'd be neutral. This is really great. These are both, I think, $13 or $14. They're very, very well priced. This is the Missy Lynn palette and this is Maybelline the Nudes palette. Okay, so I think that's enough preamble. Let's talk about the different places on the eyes, and I'm gonna do the best I can to be able to explain it to you. I'm gonna do the best I can, cause I'm a gambling boogeyman, although I don't play fair. Release me now. Okay, so 10 points if you know where that's from. Where that's from. That just came over me. Okay, so as far as your primer, you would put your primer all over your lid. Let's use the Shadow Eyes as an example. So, put this on. I find that with this particular brand, I have to put it on a little thick so that I can spread it around. Right, so I take it up to about there. I kind of get sloppy with it. It doesn't have to be super neat. And then I kind of blend it out a little bit. I don't really blend it anywhere. I just move it about. Kind of press it into my skin. Okay, so now before this gets completely dry, I like to go in with my shadow. So now I'm gonna go in with my transition color because right now this edge right here is pretty harsh. So I wanna just add my transition color right in here to blend this edge out and to just kind of start building it up. So when I blend this back and forth using a blending brush, it is going to sort of blend up and it's going to blend down a little bit and it's going to blend away this line. Okay. I mean, now that my transition color is on, I want to go in with my lid color. This is personally how I do it. There's some people who put on their highlight first. You can do it in any order. There's no matter. Just make sure that you're blending in between. And when I actually do it on this side, you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay, so now I go in with my lid eyeshadow. Which I take to about right here. Okay. So now if you have blended your transition color, it should kind of touch. If it doesn't touch, that's not a problem, but sometimes it touches and then that's fine. Okay. So now I want to add in my crease color. So I take my darker color and I just put it here. I don't necessarily take it all the way over with the shadow in one swoop. I kind of blend it over. So that's my crease. Now, if I wanted to take it into my outer V, I would add it to this part. So your outer V is this part right here. That's where it is on my face. I think if you have a full lid, then the outer V is in a little different spot. But for me, I put it there and then I connect it. So like my outer V would kind of be this whole area. If I'm not doing this heavy crease and I'm just doing a little bit of color right in here, then that would be my outer V. Because that is taking it up into my natural crease, right? My natural crease is right here because it's naturally where my eye crease is. But most of the time, I connect the two and I go sort of in an angle going up and then into my made up crease. And like I said, everyone has a different method. People's eye shapes are a little different, so it can change depending, and you have to find what you like to do. So now I'm gonna go with my highlight. So I'm gonna put my highlight underneath here, right here. And like I said, when this is blended out, it should kind of go up in here too. And then I blend that out. So all of these colors should blend seamlessly into each other. I have this weird Stila eyeliner that I got from IMATS, and I was like, pick a bold color for me, and the girl picked this color, and I was like, girl, I'm never gonna wear it in my life. But for this, I'll show you. Some people take their eyeliner right into their crease. Some people take their eyeliner out a little more. It depends on you. Woo, something in my eyeball. Okay, so that's for your eyeliner on the upper lash line. Now you have your lower lash line. Your lower lash line, I'm gonna use white. Your lower lash line is right on or right underneath your bottom lashes. It's all in my lashes. Like my lashes are now like all white. So you always have to make sure that you put on mascara after you do your lower lash line. For my waterline, I'm going to use this sparkly color. I'm going to hold down my eye a little bit and I'm going to add it to that sort of pink area. And that is my waterline. It literally is wet. Now for my inner tear duct, this is an area of my eye that sometimes I don't put makeup on because I don't really like know how it looks on me. I don't know how to explain what I just said, but that's how I said it. I never know how far out to take it because I don't have like deep inset. Like some people have like an inset, like this part of their eye is like in there. And so it's clear where to put it. So I always feel weird. I feel like it's too close to my nose when I put it on there. So with this, there's a lot of blending that goes on, and this is kind of the end result. It's so pretty. So now I'm gonna go through and I'm just gonna do this side of my face using the Maybelline's Nude Palettes for You, and I'm gonna try to talk through it, but I'm gonna be fast forwarding through most of it. Now for my lid color, I'm going to be using this color right here. I want to do like a gold color. The reason why I don't use this color is because on my skin tone, this comes out as like so bright that it doesn't even look good. So a lot of times when you want to do a gold look, you want to reach for the bronze look. Instead, I'm going to show you an example. So this is that gold color on my skin, and this is the bronze color. Now, women who are closer to this shade, this actually works better on them. But women who are closer to my shade, this bronze is a perfect gold neutral color on us, and it does the effect that this does on a lighter skin tone. If I wanted to even go neutral, I could use this color right here. But I want to do this color. Blend so that this color goes seamlessly into this color. Should I use brown? I feel like for this tutorial, I'm going to use black, so just so you can see how that looks. So I'm going to start with my outer V. And now you're saying, well, Emma, the crease on this eye is different. Yeah, on this eye, for whatever reason, my crease actually matches up. It's just right above it. It's very close, more so than on this side. You see how my crease is down here and I put it up there? On this side, my crease is up there. Look at my eyes. You see? This lid shows more than this lid. So you kind of have to adjust. Now I'm going to blend it out a little bit with this clean brush. So now you're thinking, like, what about all this dead space right here? This dead space in here? I use my transition color to blend that out. My transition color for me is just an all-over fixer. It just blends all edges out. I don't know if everyone else does that, but that's how I utilize it. Okay, for my highlight, I actually don't want to use any of these colors. For my highlight, I'm going to use this color right here, but very, very lightly. And because I'm adding it lightly, I want to apply it with my ring finger. A brush might put too much color on it. Again, I go back in with my blending brush. So right now, this kind of just looks like a hodgepodge of colors. Putting on eyeliner will bring the entire look together. So for my waterline, I'm going to use black. And for my lower lash line, I'm going to use that same bronze color just to bring the whole look together. Make sure you blend it up a little bit, then blend it down a little bit so that it's just not hanging out in space by itself. So the perfectionist in me, I'm like blending it out even more, but that's the final look, you guys. Sometimes I get it 100% and it looks amazing, and sometimes I get it and it does not look amazing, and I just have to fiddle with it until it's fine. If it's an everyday look, people aren't looking at your eyeshadow like that. I know here on YouTube it may seem like we strive for perfection, or every single time we put it on it comes out perfect. And like I said, if you're somebody who watches my channel, you know that sometimes my tutorials are like amazing and sometimes they're like meh. I just want you to know that you can put something on one day and have it be spectacular. Next day, try something different, try something new, and have it not be as spectacular. But that's just kind of how it is. Some days you get it, some days you don't. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns about what happened in this video, please leave them down below. I'll try to leave all the information in the description box. If I forget something, please let me know. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day.